All right, today we are diving into a massive shift that's happening right under our noses. For the very first time, electricity is on track to become the main event in our global energy system. The International Energy Agency has a name for it. They're calling it the age of electricity. So let's get into what that really means. Just look at this. You know, these towers, these power lines, they're basically the circulatory system for our entire civilization. For decades, they've just been there, the silent, steady hum in the background of our lives. But that is all about to change. The system that powers literally everything is on the brink of its biggest revolution ever.
Okay, so here's a question for you. Think about three totally different things. The artificial intelligence that's powering our digital world, the EV you might be thinking about buying, and the air conditioner that's keeping you cool. What in the world could possibly tie all of those together? Well, the answer to that question brings us right here. It turns out we are stepping into a brand new era for global power, one that's not going to be defined by oil or coal, but by the humble electron. So welcome to the electric age.
And there you have it. All three of those things, AI, electric cars, and ACs, are pushing our need for electricity straight through the roof. And listen, we're not just talking about a little bump here. This is a massive, completely unprecedented surge in global demand. So just how big is this new thirst for power? That's exactly what we're going to dig into next. Let's talk about demand unleashed.
You know what you're looking at here is genuinely historic. For the last 30 years, the rule of thumb was pretty simple. As the economy grows, our electricity use grows right along with it, at about the same speed. Well, that rule, it's officially broken. For the first time outside of a major crisis, our demand for electricity is growing faster than the economy itself. This is a huge, fundamental shift.
So where's all this new demand actually coming from? This chart lays it out perfectly. You can clearly see the big three leading the charge: data centers, which are powering all that AI, our growing need for cooling in a world that's getting warmer, and, of course, the transportation sector, which is electrifying like crazy with EVs.
And here is the big number. We are looking at an average growth rate of 3.6% a year all the way through 2030. Now, I know 3.6% might not sound like a lot, but believe me, in the energy world, that is lightning fast. It's about 50% higher than the average growth we saw over the last decade. And to really put that into perspective, get this. Over the next 5 years, the new demand for electricity coming from China alone will be like plugging an entire European Union into the world's power grid. The scale is it's staggering. Okay, so we've got this absolutely massive new demand. The billion-dollar question is, how on earth are we going to meet it? Well, that brings us to a revolution that's happening on the supply side. And here is the really good news. The answer is overwhelmingly clean energy. By 2025, low-emission sources like renewables and nuclear power are going to make up 42% of our electricity. Fast forward to 2030, and they're projected to generate about half of all the power on the entire planet.
This chart just illustrates that future so clearly. This is the mix we're looking at for 2030. For the first time ever, low-emission sources are the main players. They're the dominant force on the grid, while coal's share, you can see, drops down to just 27%. And that leads to this crucial milestone. After more than a century, the reign of King Coal is finally coming to an end. Renewables are officially on track to become the single largest source of electricity for the entire world. But there's always a but, right? There's a catch. We're building all this incredible new clean energy, but there's a huge, huge obstacle standing in the way. It's time to talk about the great grid bottleneck.
Yeah, this isn't some small hiccup. It's a massive, system-wide problem that seriously threatens to slow this whole transition to a crawl. Honestly, the best way to wrap your head around it is with this analogy. Imagine we're building these amazing clean energy superhighways, these huge solar and wind farms. But then we try to connect them to our cities using old, winding country roads. What do you get? A colossal energy traffic jam. And how big is that traffic jam? Right now, there are 2,500 gigawatts of clean energy and storage projects completely stalled. They're just sitting there, waiting in line to connect to the grid. That is an unbelievable amount of clean power that's basically just stuck on the sidelines. And here's the heart of the problem. It can take anywhere from 5 to 15 years to get approval and actually build new grid infrastructure. But we can build a solar farm or a data center in just 1 to 5 years. This huge timing mismatch is what's creating the bottleneck, and it's choking off progress.
So, what do? We obviously can't wait 15 years for a new power line. The solution isn't just about building a bigger grid, it's about building a smarter one. And that brings us to our final section, how we can actually unlock our power system.
The IEA lays out 3 key steps. First, we need smarter rules. Things like letting projects connect to the grid faster if they agree to be flexible with their power output. Second, we have to use new tech, like sensors that tell us exactly how much power our existing wires can safely carry in real time. And third, we need faster upgrades, using modern techniques to put new, higher capacity wires on existing towers. It's way, way faster than building new lines from scratch. And the potential here is absolutely immense. Just by rolling out these smarter solutions, we could unlock up to 1,600 gigawatts of projects that are currently stuck in those queues. That would be a massive accelerant for the energy transition. And ultimately, it all comes down to this. This new age of electricity isn't just about building shiny new power plants. It is just as much about building a fast, flexible, and modern grid that can actually handle all this new electricity, from all the new sources going to all the new demands. Which really leaves us with one final and, I think, crucial question. We know how to build the power plants of the 21st century, but are we actually willing to build the grid that the 21st century demands? The answer to that is going to define our energy future.